is Scott Spooner. I reside at 33 Linwood, and I'm the first shift engineer here at the high school. Being a homeowner and a taxpayer and having raised my family here with 2 children and owning homes and raising families here, I speak with good intentions and with the best interests of the community in mind. I am one of a non-instructional union group which includes custodians, stationary engineers, groundsmen, district mechanic, and clerical workers. We are responsible for keeping the building and grounds well maintained, clean, sanitary, warm, and safe for our students. From what I've heard from various coaches and instructional staff who have visited or been employed by other schools, that ours are the cleanest, most well-maintained buildings they have ever seen. There are leaders among us who take great care and pride in what they do. Everyone should be commended for the great job they are doing. In light of this, the latest situation between our union and the elected panel of board members, I feel the need to clarify a few things. The high school has 2 fully equipped commercial kitchens with 4 huge walk-in freezers, 2 walk-in coolers, ovens, steamers, etc. They are used to store and prepare meals for the entire school district. Should any of this equipment fail, and it often does due to its age and is near the end of its serviceable life, it is deemed an emergency situation that demands immediate attention. This equipment is very complex, high voltage, contains natural gas and refrigerants that can be potentially dangerous to work on in a school environment. Other than something that is considered a minor repair should only be handled by a licensed, fully equipped HVAC mechanic. In our district, we are fortunate to have such a person at our disposal. Ron Pollack, owner and proprietor of HVAC Helpers, has been instrumental in these situations. Just a phone call away, he is here within the hour. He is fully equipped to safely troubleshoot and repair this equipment, outsources and picks up any repair parts that may be needed, and keeps our district running with same-day service. He is thoroughly knowledgeable on all heating, cooling, and appliance systems throughout, and has really been a valuable asset. The replaced thermostat in question was out of one of these appliances, not the type found in one's living room. With that out of the way, I would like to point out a few areas of concern. Of full-time district employees, our group is the lowest paid. Same holds true of civil service positions throughout New York State. The district hires at the lowest possible New York State minimum. As an example, to put the public's mind at ease, as a stationary engineer, after 2 years, I bring home less than $10 per hour. No one has a problem with this and is thankful to have their jobs, except some hasty decisions have been made which are now affecting us as a group and our ability to perform. Every budget season, our group is targeted for cuts. Our group has been the only one to accept concessions. Several custodian, clerical, groundsman, AV tech, head custodian, and cleaner positions have been cut. With limited manpower, everyone is expected to do more, yet the building is just as large, and with upcoming projects going to get larger. The number of after-school events and weekend activities are on the rise, with limited communication from our staff as to when and where these events are taking place and what equipment is needed. Currently, outside groups are using the building on Sundays as well. Our staff has been cut to the point where we can no longer effectively cover for absences of our own people, as well as the cleaners, and cover for these events. In-focus projectors and smartboards linked to teachers' computers have taken the place of chalkboards in the classroom. Formerly the AV tech's responsibility, when one fails, it becomes an emergency situation from the engineer which demands immediate attention since the teacher can no longer teach. I personally dealt with almost 50 of these problems since last year. With an average life expectancy of 2,000 hours, I expect this number to reach over 100 by the end of this school year. All of the duties of the head custodian position that was eliminated have been passed on to the first shift engineer without the title or the pay. Based on 2010 civil service guidelines, an annual salary gap of $17,750 between the 2 positions exists. While I consider some of these concerns as oversights by our administrators and board officials, I trust these topics will be addressed in a timely and professional fashion. As a group, members of our union play a very key role in the functionality and dynamics of the school district, and we are constantly striving to maintain our high standards. At budget time, I can understand that the path of least resistance for any administrator, department head, or school official would be to attack and take away from non-instructional personnel such as ours, but it's high time to start looking elsewhere. Thank you for your time.
Elizabeth Olka, 65 Cleveland Avenue. I actually only had 3 things when I came up, but I have to concur with Scott that I've been in other districts and we do have like the cleanest buildings ever. So that should be definitely commended. And one more is with the HVAC helpers, because I sat on the school board when that issue came up, I was the individual who received an anonymous index card at my place, and we did look into all that very clearly. And my suggestion to this board when you sit down is bring up the conversation of, if you can't do it, sign off on it. So we bring in HVAC helpers or whatever subcontractors. Just a suggestion, because that's a way to alleviate. You talk about communication. Well, tell me you can't do it and I'll bring someone else in. Without saying you know, I know it's being brought here now, but it's just something that should have been really addressed a while ago, and I believe it was acknowledged and the union declined to do that. So anyways, moving on. Tonight, our Lady Warriors soccer team beat Albion 6-2, so I'd say give them a nice thank you. And tomorrow, our boys play at Clint Small, so hopefully you guys can come out. And then Thursday, our girls play again at Wilson, and that's all.
Ms. Scullion and her staff will provide us with updates at this time.
The first update that I would like to do is I'd like to have Ms. Etterton give an update on special education.
Right before the meeting started, I came around to each of your spots and put down one-sided sheet of paper. It reads Special Education Update at the top, October 2012. Currently, within special ed, we have 35 preschoolers with disabilities, and that means students who are 3 and 4 years old. They may be in our UPK program, the 4-year-olds, or they may be in home, getting services there, or in approved private placement such as Heritage, when we used to have it at Central, has now moved over near the Niagara Falls Boulevard Mall. But those are some locations where the classes could be. School-age special ed students, we have 224. There's a breakdown of in-district right underneath that. Each of our buildings, how many kids are in each of those buildings. Students with 504s, 61. Parentally placed students with CSE responsibility only, meaning that they can be our students or they can be students from City of Buffalo, Kenton. Anytime that a student goes to one of our parochial schools and they have an IEP, they become our responsibility for CSE. And we have 2 students that receive special ed services that are home instructed. As you can see, we have a total right now of, or on Beds Day, we had a total of 1,769 total students within the school district. So if you take that number and average it out or divide it, we end up with a 13% classification rate. The state average is 12%, so we're only about 1% over with our classification rate. In the center box, it breaks down where our students go for out-of-district placements, which is that OOD, and so it shows where we're traveling to. Unfortunately, we've had 5 students with disabilities drop out since September. We have a total number of 26 students with disabilities exit the school year so far, meaning they moved to a different district. They, you know, within that 26, 5 of them are of whom dropped out. we have had 21 students with disabilities move into the district. And here's what I want to make sure that you know about right now so that everything is on the table. Of those 21 students who have moved into the district, 7 of these students had to go to an outside placement because of behavioral concerns, different disabilities that we just don't have the resources for to educate within the district. So when we had the overall 10% cut last year across the board within the district, that removed any contingency within special ed that I had budgeted for move-ins. So right now, the special ed budget is approximately $161,000 in the whole, not including transportation, so it's plus transportation, and transporting the kids cost about $70 per day per student for each of those kids that are listed there that weren't budgeted for. The kids in the middle box were budgeted for transportation, and we knew about those, but those 7 toward the bottom were not ever budgeted for. An additional student that we did not budget for, we have been trying to maintain in the district, and we couldn't, and that student also needed to go to an out-of-district placement, and so that's an additional $38,000. With that student leaving, it was a 611 classroom, meaning that there could be up to 6 students, 1 certified special ed teacher, and 1 certified teaching assistant, and it only left 2 kids in the classroom. We held emergency CSE meetings for 1 and did amendment without a meeting for another, and had those other 2 kids transfer to a different classroom within our district that could meet their needs, and we closed that classroom, moving that teacher over to another building where there was an opening because we had a special ed teacher resign. So that's in hopes to try to offset some of the deficit we're running, but so that you know, we special ed is running definitely in deficit.
And this is mandated non-funded monies, correct?
These are all mandated services, and it's not that it's not funded, because our staff, which is a way that we can get money back in the district, our Medicaid, everything is 100% up to date right now, and every penny that we can optimize to get back in, we are doing it, but you don't see that money for staff right now. We're getting payments from 2008. So we're not going to get anything back on this for quite some time, so even if we keep it up to date, do it now, we don't see it. But it is all mandated. We don't have a choice for any of it.
I mean, if we want to do this, I just want it clear that this is mandated and we don't have the money now in the budget or in our hands.
Does anyone have any questions for me?
Very well, thank you.
very much.
Do you have a question?
I do. Previously, before you came on, we were told about that contingency plan, that it was something that was necessary, even though we were paying for something that we weren't actually using. It was something that was a necessary thing. So I understand that we tried to do 10% cuts, but I guess I don't know, when you make 10% cuts to mandated programs, I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do. I don't know, is there a way to...
It was the only place that I could take 10% out of the special ed budget when it was
Right,
asked
but
for, because
I don't know
everyone
if
else
it was across the board, but not, obviously we can't cut our mandated, unfunded. I mean, we're mandated, so just looking into next year's budget, we better safety, just thinking. That's how we were advised prior.
And that's what I had done. We put I had 2 students extra going maybe to a fall school and 3 students going to a BOCES, so I had all of that money set aside into there. That's where the numbers were, and that's what I had to remove.
I'm sorry. Can you just kind of give the board an clear look at the transportation costs, just a general figure, so that we can really go home and digest this? Because I think think it's gonna be even more alarming than the number that you have down there.
I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I have some good news about the one. Last year, we were paying to go to one location $58,000 for 2 students. And we have talked with other districts. I got on the phone with some other places, met with the transportation officials, who is not Tom for the special ed transportation. Special ed transportation within the district is Tom and his group and women for students. So got together with them and we got them on another bus, so we have shared costs. So that cost this year is down to about $26,000 for the 2 of them to get to and from their placement. So it was cut in half, which was good, because their transportation was costing more than their education. So I don't think right now I can tell you that and give you a number off the top of my head that would be clear. If I had to do a guesstimate, 7 students at $70,000 a day, 490 times 180. What do you think there?
If we have 7 students at $70 a day times, we have roughly, because I was working with transportation, there's 139 days left after tonight. That comes to $68,000.
To address the 10%, when the board asked for 10%, it was if you can find it somewhere. To come back now and see that it really was cut from something that it really shouldn't have been cut from. Those were a request, suggestion, if you can find something to cut from a contingency for move-ins. And as Jen said, Mr. Bridenstine would tell us, he always had a few slots there just in case. So I'm just a little concerned that it's the 10% that was asked for. The board was asking for 10% to try and just trim in places where we could just try and shore it up a little bit so it didn't result in more staff being reduced. And now we're facing this. This is
One of our directives was to cut 10%. No,
It was.
It was a
directive.
It was, but if they didn't have it, they didn't have it. But the board as a whole supported, let's try and find 10%.
But the problem with, or the uniqueness with the special ed is you don't know. As you said, we lost some, we gained some, we don't know, there's no way to plan
Right.
for it. So I think I more agree with what you're saying, Jen, is let's not touch special ed.
Right, let's not touch
leave
it.
where it is.
But
So it's just
budget
something-
advisory is a discussion and it's a process, and if it's something that there really wasn't a comfort level in removing, it should have been put out there that way, that I don't have anywhere to go, and I don't want to dip into contingencies. Just food for thought going forward.
And one of the things that we can, we have meetings all year long. Another thing that changed in special ed this year is we went to anniversary meetings, meaning that we are seeing all of the seniors in September, October, all of the juniors, October, November, and along with sophomores and freshmen. We should be done with their meetings by December, so we see where all their needs are, even outside placement. So we're looking to see, can any kids make it, come back here where we can bring back and save some money and have the kids be afforded the same resources as our district kids, because we have a lot of programs here that are very successful, especially in the areas of reading and the math. So that's something that we're looking at. So if any of the more high-cost kids can be returned, that reduces those costs. So we're looking at that on a regular basis. And like when it happened, it just so happened that 21 moved in, 7 of which were already in a placement somewhere coming out of either a residential, mental health type program, but only 1 student that was an out-of-district placement moved out of those 26, right, that moved out. Only 1 was in such a placement.
And even with that contingent, I believe that only left us 2 spots, so we still would have been, we still would have been in the hole.
That's a huge amount of move-ins for out-of-district placements. I wouldn't say that it was an exorbitant amount that moved in, like to have like 26 for this size district, but to have 7 that were already in some type of placement come to you, and when they're coming out of a residential day treatment program, we can't very well say we can program for them here. So we're trying, and the principals have to be given kudos because we're trying to keep everyone we can in the district. And there's just many more students with many more different types of behavior problems.
Can I ask just one more thing?
Sure.
It's not necessarily special ed, but I have asked in the past for an update from Mr. Perry, just to kind of give us a glance of what our projected gap might be.
He is going to start it in our next packets, giving us that on a monthly basis.
Okay, so it won't be tonight.
No. No.
Still too early in the year to really give you an accurate idea of what that's going to look like.
We were trying for tonight.
I've seen some newspaper articles of other districts projecting their gap, so I assume that we should have that really soon.
The way that he's going to do it is to show us what we've actually spent on line by line, so that we can compare it to the prior year, is that correct?
Or
I mean, if I'm wrong on this.
it will be a percentage that's available or a percentage that's been spent. And we'll have that descriptor in the column heading, so you'll be able to see where we are line by line, yes.
And then from that, he will determine the projections. Okay.
I can move on.
That's it.
So that would be it, thank you.
Okay, our student representatives from the National Honor Society and the Student Council are going to provide us with their reports. Who's going first?
On behalf of Student Council, we'd like to say we had a very successful TNT week with our hall decorating, bonfire, powder puff, motorcade, pep assembly, and homecoming.
We are currently planning the dive-in, which is kind of like the drive-in, if you know, where families go and pull up with cars and just watch movies. We're thinking about having a movie projected by the pool area, making it like $1 or $2 a ticket. People come, first serve, because there's a pool in it, obviously. But if people don't want to swim, we're going to see if we can open up the top seats so people can sit there and still watch it. Just kind of a fun idea, watch a fish movie, just to go with the pool theme. My college success class, BEEP, is holding a rake-a-thon this Saturday, October 27th. It's usually done through the student leadership class, but that's not being held this year, so my BEEP class took over it, and it's just my classmates and I will go around and help residents that can't rake their leaves, and just go out and help them rake their leaves, just community service.
And then for FBLA, last year we started a TownofWandaGear.com website, and we sell Tonawanda gear off of it. So this year we thought instead of just selling it on the website, we'd sell it at all the TNT events, and it was very successful. Along with that, we plan on holding a holiday sale for all the parents and whoever else would like to buy clothes. And we still have a lot of leftover clothes from our sales at the events.
Do you have any idea when your holiday sale is going to be? Because I'm sure people want to know.
Not off the top of my head, but the clothes will be in before Christmas, so whenever that happens.
Okay. Keep us posted.
All right.
Thank you.
Good evening, all members. I'm James Stewart, president of our National Honor Society. News regarding our society. On Sunday, July 15th, we helped set up, serve, and clean up at the Golden Warriors picnic at Fireman's Park for alumni of Tonawanda High School. Monday and Tuesday, August 27th and 28th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., we helped middle school and high school students set up their lockers and help figure out their schedules around the school. And Tuesday afternoon, we also attended a leadership conference on Making Care Contagious, led by Andy Thibodeau, who also arrived on the Wednesday of our TNT week and spoke to everybody about anti-bullying. On September 20th, which was a Thursday, we helped assist parents find all their child's classrooms and that go along with their schedules during the open house here. This Friday, October 26th, we'll be tapping shoulders for new inductees of National Honor Society. And then after school, we have a planned pizza party, so we welcome all of you to come and have a slice of pizza and congratulate the new members. And then also Thursday, November 8th at 7 in the high school auditorium is the induction ceremony. So we encourage all of you to attend to show your appreciation for the hard work that the students put forward to be able to enter into the National Honor Society. And then also our preparations for Christmas for Kids have begun. We have asked Riverview and Mullen to provide us with a list of students from pre-K to 3rd grade that are eligible so we can mail them invitations and they can RSVP. And we are working on mailing donation letters to the community by the end of this week. It's planned for Saturday, December 15th from 9 to 11 a.m. So if you guys would like to attend and kind of show your faces to the small children, that'd be very appreciated. And then other high school news, yesterday, October 22nd, a local college fair came and they provided information to juniors and seniors about what they have to offer for their college education. And then school counselors are also taking groups of seniors to visit colleges, such as UB, NU, and CCC, just to show what they can offer, but they're not favoring any colleges, trying to lean it more towards the other. So I'd like to thank you for your time and support, and to also thank you. NHS has provided thank you cards and chocolates for your hard work.